What we will start with is, let's look at what we're doing. Okay, we are advances in AI. What we do is practical news that happened in AI. Of course, it's a sea of news, so we're going to concentrate on those that have practical relevance. Where is a new technology? What can you use? So I'm a developer, therefore anything that relates to that. If it is a developer tool, download and try it. If it is an AI tool, download and try it. That's the same idea. Now, when people come here, what we're going to cover is here. You see the session date is January 23, and here is everything we will talk about. So first of all, we have a new idea, challenge of the week. I'll give you some mathematical or complicated enough problem, and that problem you will try to solve, but not too hard, okay? Besides, I will also show you the result. I will also show you how you solve that. And that is along the idea that, first of all, you asked for it, guys. You guys and girls, you wanted a problem and not just show me the solution. And also, it's because I like it myself. So that will be our first thing. The next thing will be Google Gemini CLI. So let's put the word CLI here to make sure that we know what we're talking about. We have it in the repo. We'll be looking there. But I will also show how I use it. I use Google AI in way of anti-gravity. And anti-gravity is a tool which I will show you. Then we will also take a cursory look at this different previous courses. Yes, we covered them previously, but it's a good mention. And then I will also show you a lot of new experiments. First of all, I will show you how I propose to test applications, AI applications that you build, okay? And I will also show you how you will protect your application that you build. So I start with thank you. Thanks to everybody who comes here, because you guys, you force me to learn every week. I need to know what's going on and learn something new, which completely agrees with my idea that we now live in the new age, and in this new age, we are supposed to learn. That is what Andrew Ng said as well, and everybody knows who Andrew Ng, but just in case, I'm showing this as Andrew Ng. He is the one who started many technology projects, but then he started teaching, and it's a teaching company, Deep Learning and Coursera. All of these are the same philosophy that we need to learn every day. Okay, now what I will show you is, first of all, that the square root of 2 is not a rational number. What does it mean? That means that there is not, okay, thank you very much. Okay, so no such thing, no P over Q, okay, that would be equal to square root. I don't have the symbol for square root, so I'm just saying square root of 2. Now, it sounds like everybody knows, but that is a big deal. It was a big deal for Pythagoreans, the Greek mathematicians, because to them, the universe was a symphony of numbers. They were amazed at whoever did it. That universe was a great thing, but it had limitations, and limitation was that natural numbers comes first, and everything else would be based on natural numbers. Okay, and it turns out not everything. You cannot have two natural numbers that one divided by the another will be square root of 2. So I'm not asking you right now how the proof goes. It's what it would mean is that 2 is equals p of pi. No, beta p. squared divided by q squared, and much as you try, you will not find these numbers. But last time, and you came up with the proof that, if p is divisible by 2, then let's divide by 2. If q is divisible by 2, then let's divide by 2. And you find that you keep dividing, and in the end, you have 2 on the right, and what can you have on the left so that one divided by the other would be 2? So that wasn't clear. To me, it's very nice mathematical proof. What I will show you instead is unbelievably beautiful geometrical proof. Okay, here we are. Let's go all the way to end. And let's formulate that whole problem in a picture. No, I need to look at the phone just to make sure that I'm not uh, not silent. Somebody is maybe calling me. Okay, so that's the proof. Okay, now if you draw it, it's already easier. So we're saying p squared by p squared is q squared and another q squared, because one divided by the other would be 2. Well, that's the same problem, right? You see that. You see that times 2 is that. And therefore, 2 of such things are exactly that. Now, think of that as a painting problem. You go to the store, and in that store, you buy blue paint, okay, and you buy yellow paint, all right? So you need two jars of paint, blue and yellow. And you know that when you paint a room in your home, that paint, the blue paint, will cover the room, and two paints of yellow will also cover the room, because we said that this is 2 times bigger than that. Well, now do this. Take this blue, put it here, that's the blue, and then take this q squared and put it into the upper right corner. And then also take the left square and put it in the left corner. Now what happens is that I painted my room with blue, and I spent, let's say, $3. And then I bought the yellow paint, and also I wanted to paint over the blue. So what I do is I put that square here. You already see it? Okay. You put that once here. Okay. And you realize that you paint over that little square twice, right? You do this with yellow, you do this with yellow, so that's orange to show you that it was painted over twice. You shouldn't do it. You should only paint it once, and the remainder of the paint you'll put in these blue squares. And it would work, of course. It would work because we just said that that is left exactly, you have exactly the same amount of blue paint as yellow paint. But now what you see is that you took all that paint that was yellow, and you instead you could have used the blue area and paint over with that orange. So again, you took the original square and you put yellow here and another yellow here, and you painted over that twice. And since you painted over twice, what you should have done is taken the yellow paint and put it here and here, and it will work. It will work perfectly well. But you discovered something. If you paint that with the same amount of paint as that, then they are equal. And what you now have is a smaller number right here that is exactly equal to 2 squares. Now, I forgot to mention, we did it in the first proof. We said we'll find such P and Q which are the smallest in the world. So there is nothing smaller. And look, even though there was nothing smaller, we found smaller numbers. There you are. Proof Done. Okay. And ask me a question about this beautiful proof. I tell you honestly, I thought about that for about 3 days. He says how it works right here. It's Hampkins, mathematician Hampkins' beautiful book. But I couldn't get it until I used his own idea. His own idea, make it human. So express it in a painting problem. Go to the store, buy paint, and then you will discover an amazing thing, which I just told you, that is equal to that, and we just said it cannot be because of the smaller numbers. The last argument is, as he says, note that these are still integer numbers, because how did you get them? Well, you took the blue square and you put in the yellow square. There must be that is also integer, right? You took that minus that. Okay, proved, done, and I'm not torturing you anymore with this unrelated, seemingly unrelated. Last time we spoke about what can AI and mathematics have in common, and we found out, I need to mention that, we found out that the AI just solved a great little problem. There was a mathematician, Paul Erdős. He left to us 700 problems, and that's one of them that was now solved by AI. You can appreciate that I would call a level of general artificial intelligence. Now, what we are going to talk about today now is, you can ask questions, interrupt anytime, is Google Gemini CLI. Now, for that, I will show you just the beginning, because there are two different tools from Google. One is Gemini, and the other one is Antigravity. I'm using Antigravity all the time, so I'll show you that. The Google Gemini, you will hear it from the horse's mouth, so I will stop sharing. I will share that again, but this time I'll share it with the sound so that you will also hear, and just 2 minutes from that lecture. Let's start from the introduction.
Welcome to this course on Gemini CLI, built in partnership with Google. Experienced developers are using agentic coding assistants to dramatically speed up our work. In this course, you learn about many of Google's internal best practices for agentic coding, including how to apply it to common use cases like building web frontends or automating code reviews using GitHub Actions, and even non-coding tasks like creating multimedia content for social media. I really enjoy using Gemini CLI myself, and hope you also get a lot of value out of it. I'm delighted that our instructor for this course is Google's Jack Witherspoon, who is developer advocate working on Gemini CLI.
Thanks, Andrew.
Okay, so I will show you some of the slides right here. By the way, you can get everything that I'm doing here. You can get it by using that link. So start from that link. You will see everything. You will see how to register for these weekly webinars. And I need to tell you a secret. I published it on Spotify. And because it was so much fun to publish it on Spotify, I would say prepared better. So everybody gains. So that is the link to our repo. All of these courses I learned myself, put them into our repo, make sure they work inside of our environment, not inside of the beautiful but not for you environment in the what is it, deep learning AI. Okay, now we'll start with just a few slides to look at how is that different from all other tools. In particular, Google has another tool which I will show you later. Okay, so Gemini CLI, that's what we're talking about, and you will be in the terminal. So I saw such people, don't take that wrong, but that say I don't want to be in the terminal and I want a browser-based application. And I would say, no, that's not a valid claim today. It's okay to be in the terminal. And in fact, Google thinks that for some reasons, for some applications, it's even better to be in the terminal. So now they explain what you will see. You will tell it, it will answer. You don't have to talk out loud. You will be able to do a lot of things. For example, you will be able to do your slides podcasts, all of that, you just tell it do it. But in general, what is this Gemini CLI as opposed to other tools? It's a terminal application in the terminal. It's also a conversation agent. You can talk to it. It is completely open source. Now, that is quite amazing. And they say, okay, come and learn from us. Here it is. Let's find it. So it is Gemini CLI. Gemini. No, that's Gemini. I want Gemini CLI. That's what I want. And it is found on GitHub. That's where it should be. I saw it. I honestly saw it. Git. Okay, so find Gemini CLI. There you are. Okay. So completely open source, common use. Of course, you still have to provide your key and you will have to pay for your use of it. But here it is. So that is the thing that comes just recently from Google. Very interesting. Now, what I do is use this. So I use the also tool from Google based on IDE, based on develop environment. And in here, you talk to AI like that. But what I like is it's very, very smart. I told it, okay, that is my AI advisor for my application, which comes to the world as an API. So I can say, hey, stop the API, okay? No question asks. It knows which API I could be talking about. Well, I have only one API. And then I can say, okay, now start the API. It just said that application startup completed. No, didn't I ask? It's working. It says I'm working. Okay. Let us look at the browser because I know where it shows itself to the world. So go into the browser. Too many browsers, right? And it would be on localhost 8000. Still here. That's the API that it wrote. I just told it what I need. I need a certain thing for e-discovery. That means I need to load my data and then I need to ask about my data, describe the index. And I said, I have it working with the Pinecone remotely. I wanted with the local implementation with Chroma, which as you can see it did. So I just spoke to it right here. And it's still thinking. Sometimes it thinks for a long time, but it doesn't. So, that I have a rule: demos never work. That's okay. It does it exactly as I promised, but I have to say that just recently I said start my API and it still started it. And if it sees that this port is taken, it will ask the permission to stop it or it will tell me how to stop it. So it's like working with the older brother who knows that stuff. Okay, I think it's coming. Stop the API. It says working, loading. Okay. So I think it's very close. And if I refresh it, that maybe there will be no API. But in any case, that's a second tool. So which one would you use? Well, as I found out after I installed this Google CLI, and yeah, that's a powerful way. To me, it's Google teaching you much more and much less. So let's go back. We were here. So Google is teaching you how to use their Gemini, which people say many good things about. So they teach you what is it, and then they
context
teach you
aware. This makes
how
it very
to do it.
and try your first workflow. All right.
Okay. But they also show It will write your blog articles. It will do your podcasts. It will do your software development. And I think the most useful in this course is when these people tell you how to use AI. That is the most useful. Now, I personally find that my biggest error with AI is not using it enough. So when I have a question, what used to be is I will call my friends. What I'm doing now is, of course, just talk to AI and it will help me. And if not, well, we're equal partners in this. It will tell me something, I will tell it something. So, what I wanted to show you is that there is a Gemini CLI from Google, a new course. You can still use Antigravity, which is a great tool. By the way, did it finish? Still thinks. All right. But there are these two tools. Now, when we're talking, yes, there are these two tools. There is something else, and that's what I wanted to show you. What I wanted to show you is that since we have all this agentic, it felt good to revisit all these courses. By the way, if you are the first time here and you ask me, so where should I start? What should I learn? Well, you come here and you click on AI education. And this AI education covers all courses that we guys together we looked at. And by now it's about 100. And not only that, they don't overlap. So they may be solving the same problem. I'm removing some windows that I don't need here. So it may be solving the same problem, but in a different way. So it's worth it. We are right now in this. So when it is 98 here, it's because I downloaded that and put it on my GitHub directory. And most of the times I did it. But even if not, all these are worth learning. Well, if it's too much, start from the first one. Start here and you will be good. It's a generative AI for everyone. All right, now let's go back. Here we are. So I said there were three agentic courses that kind of related because right now everybody puts out a tool that is agentic. So for example, agentic AI, what was it? I'm waiting for a little picture to show, but it doesn't show. Okay, well, I'll just open it. That would be Andrew's course, Andrew Ames' course, where he teaches you how to do agentic with pure Python. No framework, because everybody else actually pushes their framework. For example, the Google Gemini that I just showed you, all is well, but it connects you to the Google Cloud. And this works, anti-gravity works with specific Google tool. Agentic AI is pure Python. Vibe coding is Andrew Ng telling you how to do it, how to tell AI what you need, and he teaches you how to produce nice postcards. And finally, Landing AI is how you can process documents. Serious documents, how can you understand them? Well, with that, we are ready. You can click, but I think it's not worth it today. Instead, I have two more interesting items. Number one, and that is how I, myself, how I test my own AI applications. So last week I told you that I'll try to find out. Well, luckily I did find out. That only works on Windows or Mac, doesn't work on Ubuntu, and I'm right now on Ubuntu. So what I have prepared for you is I will join our meeting. And I will join our meeting from my Mac. And I will show what I will use there. So I do this. I stop sharing. I connect from my Mac. Takes me a little second. Okay, but it's worth it. And here I'm connecting. Now I will connect and I will share the screen from that Mac, and I will try to remove the extra noise. Now you see me twice. I don't want that. I remove that. And I hope you can hear me okay and you can see my screen. Okay? Now, in here, what I'm doing is I'm using a different application, different browser called Comet Browser. There you are. And this Comet Browser is an application from Perplexity. So since I don't have the newest Mac, which would give me another browser, the OpenAI browser, I had to go with this browser, and I felt quite good about it. So what I did this is I opened that page, and I said, "Do you see this page? Okay." And then do something about this page. So it looks there, and then I can say now click. Let's go back. Click on square with arrow. Okay, so it should click on the square with arrow. It did it, right? It does what I asked. Now, since that browser is also powered by AI, and that AI is running in agentic mode, I can say test it. Test it. Okay, it might, I only discovered that, so it might come back with questions like how do I test it and things like that. But what I wanted to show you is you need AI to test it, and you don't quite know how you will do it. So the answer is here. Use a special browser here, and in that browser, okay, it is testing something. There you are. And it says I am looking there, looking your documents, then giving you the summary. I found errors. Beautiful. Okay, that's enough. Okay, I will get out of that meeting from my Mac, and I'm back here, and I can share the screen again. And now I showed you that. I showed that if you use a special browser, either it's Perplexity producing, what's the name of the browser? Common browser. You cannot remember all these names. Or it is AI, ChatGPT, which puts out another browser by the name of Atlas. But it acts in an agentic mode. It is very smart. So what I also tried is to use agentic mode on the side, on the website, but I could not see what's going on. And it was claiming, well, I don't see anything, it's all gray. And I was saying, no, when I open that, I see it, right? You should be able. So we had the disagreement. It's not a perfect tool as yet. But every time you think, when will it will be perfect? And what's my purpose in the world? That is philosophy. We need maybe a separate talk about that. But right now, there are two ways to make your life easier, provided that you are going to learn and learn new things. And one more new thing that I will show you in a second will be that the security. but let's see what the comments are. Perplexity is Comet. Right, Perplexity is the company. Comet is the browser that is produced by that company. All right, and finally, so honestly speaking, I was writing this book. The book is about how to hack AI and how to protect against hacking. I think that's very interesting. And it's a long story, but in the end, I was slow enough, and the publishing company canceled the contract. But, you know, it's always very good in the end. In this case, here's the book for you. I open source the book and I write exactly what I want to write, not what the publishing company would want. I'm not bound by any outline. So, what it is about right here, and it tells you honestly except how they cancel the contract. But other than that, it talks about what's that book for you and why it's very interesting and how you should know about security. So let's show at least some of the chapters. We'll start with what you should do. And what you should do is be current in AI and in security, otherwise, you stand no chance. Especially because just yesterday I saw a new piece of news. Now, it's tautology, new piece of news, but it was talking about that AI is able to invent new hacks. And so the book is more than pertinent. We will have lots of fun. I'll bring that next time. I'll show you how AI can do more hacks for you. So let's do this. After I'll tell you a little bit more about the book, I will prepare here for the next time. And the first will be here, how AI can come up with new hacks of AI. And of course, and how to protect against them. But that's already another story. Challenge of the week will be, of course, something new. Okay, and that's good enough. It will be January 30. But we're not done yet. We are going back to the book. If you remember, you click here and you come to the book. Let me do it just to verify. And indeed, we're at the book. So really the first part is quite finished. I'll tell you what it is about. First of all, it's not loading. But secondly, it's talking about uh, how you can hack in general. That will be a much bigger section than what you have here. But everything that you know about hacking would apply to AI even better. And that is because AI imitates humans, and humans are gullible. Well, AI is also gullible. One of the ways to hack, and I will be showing that, is keep repeating the same thing. And in the end, he will, to get rid of you, it will do what you need. Now that's amazing, but I'll show you the book by Kevin Mitnick, the famous hacker, and how his 2002 exploits can be applied on the AI today. That is the first. That's the ideas, but we need to polish them. The ideas on how we can reuse this art of deception by Mitnick, but use it today against AI. And then, well, not everything is there. But that I think is enough to start. I get my inspiration from here. A while ago, we started from Hadoop Illuminated. If you remember, there was this big data tool. And we published this book. Again, we tried to write a book for the publishing house, never got too far, and instead just published it like that. My daughter provided illustrations. So if we go into even use cases, we might see some of her pictures. No, not here, but at least here you see the picture. That is me, and that is my partner Suji, and that is Elephant Scale. And Elephant Scale was the new name because Hadoop, its logo is elephant. So there is one book like that, and now there is another one, and that other book is called Cybersecurity. Well, I think I covered everything that I wanted to do. What I will do now is stop sharing, and then look at the comments, hide my picture, invite new comments and suggestions. Comments and or suggestions. There you are. So send me an email, mark at Skya AI is the best. And if today we don't have any more suggestions, then okay, that will be published on our YouTube and also now on Spotify. So back to share the screen. That place where you find it, that place to start with is Elephant Scale. Yeah, you go to Elephant Scale and go to webinars. That's all our webinars, and that's this one. In that webinar, I think that it'll 7 days to the next one. But if you click on the register now, you will be able also to join, register and join. So that's where this all is. You will be able to see it on the YouTube channel. There is a link somewhere. And now I wish you all the best, a great weekend, and a wonderful year to come. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Brian, Shravan, Eliza, Steve. Thank you very much to everybody.